Hey guys, welcome back to the Interceptor, and today we are here with a video that I have made before, but I only did 3 of the classes, so I kind of wanted to just go through it again. Today I spent a while on Aunt May. I looked through my champions, I thought for a while about what I wanted to do, and I made a top 10 tier list for every single class. I will be recording all 6 of these within the next 2 days, and then they'll probably all get uploaded within the next week. But from the last list that I updated, there are a lot of changes. There are a lot. Mystic saw like 2 changes in the top 10 and 1 change in the honorable mention, which is the class I'm doing today. Although there wasn't crazy changes, like nothing huge. Although there is the addition of 1 champion that wasn't on any part of the list because it literally was not a champion in the game at the time I made it. So let's just go in the game to my mystics so that you will be able to see them while I am talking about them, like at the same time. So I think that'll be better. I'm just gonna... Is the brightness that bad on my face? Yeah, it is. So I'm gonna just turn down the brightness on my computer. If you give me a second. Where's brightness? Is it in here? There it is. I'm just gonna turn it down. There. I'll turn it up when I'm done recording, but there we go. Now you don't see all the white reflecting off my face as bad. Okay, so anyways, we're going to start with the honorable mentions. Now, before, let me say that this is entirely opinion-based. While there are some champions in here that I do not enjoy and I just know for a fact are that good, they are the champs that I will rank the same, but there are some champs that are much higher, much lower than a lot of people think on this list. Maybe some champs in the top 10 that you guys don't even think are in the top 15. That's possible. It is possible. So, today we're going to go through all of them, and we are going to start with the honorable mentions. Also, some of these champs rely on Mystic Dispersion, but I kind of I didn't include that as much in my decision. Like, I didn't move anyone up or down based on their requirement to have Mystic Dispersion. So for our basically what I did for all of these is I did a top 10, and then the honorable mentions I did at most 5. I think there were 2 or 3 classes I did 5, others I did 4 and 3 in. That's when I just thought, like, there are champions that are good enough to be mentioned, and I might just add them in. So starting at our number 4 honorable mention, we are going to have this one, Mephisto. Mephisto is a great champion. He starts off with the... What's it actually called on the L1? Imprison. He imprisons them, and that starts at the beginning of the fight. And... And he's also immune to poison and incinerate. He is one of the top options for any cosmic champion at all that is on Path 9 Section 1. He's also great for Node 49, which is the Hazard Shift Mini. He gets a lot of use in Alliance War. To be honest, I don't really love his potential anywhere else. But, you know, he's good in Alliance War, and that's enough for me to be mentioned. Also, it should be mentioned he is an awesome synergy for Morningstar, who will be mentioned later. Let's go to number 3 honorable mentions, and honestly, it really hurt to put this champion this low. You know what? I'm gonna make 1 change. It's literally like I'm switching 1 spot. Okay. We'll mention that champion next. In the 3rd honorable mention spot, we are going to be going with a champion I absolutely adore. I unfortunately do not have as a 6-star, but I do have as a 5-star, and that is Mojo. Mojo is an awesome defender. He is also a great attacker, where when your prompts are on cooldown, you reduce buff length by like a crazy amount so that they pretty much end instantly. And then he inflicts degens. Nullify on his L1. He's a champ that massively benefits from Mystic Dispersion, but nowhere near requires it because he gains power. He has a reduced combat power rate, but he increases the power rate of himself and others through a synergy in the quest, and he gains power whenever he completes prompts. I've done videos on Mojo. I've done like over 200k with a special 3 with a 5-star Mojo. So yeah, he's just crazy. And that's why he should be mentioned. Now, this champ is the one I moved up one spot just because I think, yeah, I'm kind of underrating this champion. And this is a champ that really flies under the radar for most. But if you've used him, you know just how insane he is. And that is the Hood. The Hood is, first off, very suicide friendly because he just heals when his stagger either ends or nullifies a buff. I'm pretty sure it's both. I'm not entirely sure. They did actually get his buff wrong the first time that they did it. They took away one of his better abilities, and then when they came back, I honestly really liked the buff. I liked the buff to begin with, but the second version they came back with was even better. I use him in Alliance War all the time. He is the essential piece that makes Kingpin viable for Alliance War. Like, honestly, Kingpin isn't even viable in Alliance War without Hood. That's how good that synergy is. Also, it's the second best synergy for Ghost after Wasp. Just the ability to be immune to all damage sources. Just never take damage while you're phasing is just crazy. Also, you just use the medium attacks, build up your bullets, you detonate them. I've used him in Alliance War for multiple fights before, and he does not disappoint. He is a seriously good champion, and that's why he is mentioned. Now, this next champion is the champion that was kicked out of the top 10 after my after my next video. After my last video, my Mystic one, my last Mystic tier list, which was a while ago. And that is because Sigil Witch happened. Spoiler, Sigil Witch is in the top 10, and this is the champ that they kicked out of the top 10. This is a champ I like. It's a champ I ranked up to rank 2, might take to rank 3, and that is going to be Dragon Man. I do like Dragon Man, although he is still bugged, but the bug only works on attack. Actually, it might work on defense, but I don't know if it can trigger on defense because of just the way it happens. It can, but I don't know if it does. Dragon Man, awesome champion, good immunities. You corner them, knock them down, you gain your unstoppable. You do very good damage. You do great damage. But he just doesn't quite crack that top 10 for me. So now we go to a champion that many people do not like. He is massively slept on, in my opinion. And that's just because, like, you're not using him in the right way. And that is Man-Thing. At number 10, the number 10 Mystic in the game, in my opinion, is Man-Thing. So I have a 6-star here, but I also have a 5-star that I believe is Sig 200, who I use quite frequently. Yeah, he is Sig 200. And just, Man-Thing is so good, and just no one talks about it. For example, the cycle with Man-Thing is to get to an L1, you throw it, and you get a Fury. The higher your Sig level is, the more potent that Fury is, and it's actually decently significant. Like, it's quite a lot of damage. So what you do is you throw your L1, parry, heavy. And if you have, I believe it is Mystic Dispersion 4 or 5. I think 5 is too much, and you probably want to go with 4. If you have Mystic Dispersion 4, the parry, the power you get from parrying, the power you get from connecting a heavy, and nullifying those buffs gets you back to an L1. So after you get to your initial L1, it's just L1 heavy, L1 heavy. And you just can do that, and you keep stacking armor breaks, and you keep stacking poisons. And those poisons, they're no joke. They are potent poisons. Like, they are very good. And the armor breaks are also really awesome. So just a massively slept on champion that I gotta include in the top 10 because, let's be honest, he is a top 10 Mystic. He just is. And now we're going to go for the next one, number 9, and this is a champion I have as a 6-star, someone I talked about earlier, and that is Scarlet Witch Sigil. Scarlet Witch Sigil is probably even more dependent than Man-Thing on Mystic Dispersion. She is probably the most Mystic Dispersion dependent Mystic in the game. Like, the strategy with her is to throw the L1s to get, I don't know what those charges are called. They're like a little mystical symbol. Let me check. Are they called Chaos Surges? Yeah, they're called Chaos Surges. Right? Or maybe they're instabilities? I don't know. Anyways, the strategy is you build up the charges, you throw your L3, and then you get the... I don't think they're damage over time. I think they're passive, right? Yeah, passive degens. And they do some serious damage. They make her genuine options to be boss killers in Alliance War. They clear... clearing hard fights. I've seen Suida take Nova on Mixmaster, which is not an easy fight, with Sigil Witch, and he just destroyed it. So, yeah, number 8 goes to Sigil Witch. Number 9 goes to a champion that, honestly, I think is having kind of a resurgence in Alliance War. If you move back 5 seasons, like, no one was using him. And then, all of a sudden, Red Magneto became the meta for Alliance War bosses, and Symbiote Supreme just emerged. He was behind Sorcerer and Tigra, probably the number 3 option in the game for taking them out. And when he first released, he had a lot of hype, and he was used for quite a while, and then he died off, and I'm really glad that he is back and being used in Alliance War, because I think he is an awesome champion. I didn't even go into his abilities. There you go. And I think he deserves to be in the top 10. I think he is the number 8. Now, the cycle with him is really nice. You throw your L3 to get all of your passives back. What are they even called? Your genetic blessings? Yes, your blessings. You get all 3 of your blessings, which nullifies all buffs on the opponent, and you can stack up major damage with armor breaks and bleeds, and then you just kind of get in a cycle of L3, maybe an L2 in there with mystic boosts, gets you back to like 2 bars, you save for an L3 again. He's awesome. He's really, really awesome. He inflicts a ton of staggers, great damage output. He also has protection, so he doesn't take much damage from hits, and he's just really good. So now we'll go into number 7, who might be... Yes, who is the only champion on this list that is exclusive to a 5-star. There's no 6-star version of Magic. Now, Magic is a champion. It does not matter that this champion is a 5-star. A 5-star is good enough. You use Magic in Alliance War all the time. I'd say that whenever you see like a really tough power gain fight, it's either Magic or Spidey taking it. Because Spidey with that anti-Venom synergy just stops the power gain right from the start. Magic with an L1 boost, I'd argue she does more damage than Spidey 2099. Obviously, Spidey 2099 has that burst damage just over that with the L2 if you have a lot of debuffs up. But Magic, she's just so good. She has a synergy with Purgatory that makes her heal from suicides. And yeah, Magic is just awesome. And I don't see her dying out anytime soon. I think there's a reason that champions like Magic and Quake have not come to the 6-star pool. And that's because if Magic was a 6-star, she might be like 2nd or 3rd on this list. The fact that she's a 5-star, well, it does hold her back a little bit, and it's not the reason she's so low. She's still usable. But she would massively jump up on this list if she was available as a 6-star. That's for sure. I know she would be my next 6-star rank 3 Mystic. But now we'll go into I don't think this top 6 is going to be controversial. I think the order might be a little bit, because one of the champions that you're like, yeah, this should probably be up there, but I don't see it as that rank, might be one of your reactions. But I think this top 6 is, a lot of people will agree this is the top 6 Mystics. And number 6 is going to be Diablo. Diablo is awesome. He heals from just throwing special attacks. He heals from suicides because he doesn't take damage from the poison. He inflicts crazy damage. You have pre-fights where you can be immune to armor break. You can be immune to stun. You can heal back energy damage. What is it, like 70% or something like that? It's something crazy. Where is it? 70%, yeah. And then there's also the one where you can nullify, which is actually the only way he can nullify. There is one unfortunate thing about him, which is that his special 3 can only be used once per fight. So it's kind of like locked. So even if you get to 3 bars, you can only throw a special 2. I wish they removed that. I think that if they remove that, he would be a little better. He would be viable to solo the Kang boss. I don't believe he can do it, but I'm not sure. I've seen a rank 4 6-star Diablo, and it's just because Diablo's crazy. He is worthy of rank 4. That's how good he is. And also, not to mention that he synergizes with Doom, so that Doom has guaranteed crits on the heavies while you have a stagger up. That's also awesome. It allows Doom to get a ton more solos in Abyss that he otherwise wouldn't be able to do. Like Iron Man, Infinity War, Ghost. There's a few others that I did. I did Medusa as well. And like he wouldn't be able to do that. Even a rank 4 6-star Doom could not do that without the Diablo synergy. So it's just really, really awesome. Definitely one of the best buffs of champions we've seen in a long time, but not the best. Now we go to number 5, and this goes to Sorcerer Supreme. Unfortunately, mine is not duped. The dupe actually, while she is usable unduped, it is quite significant for her, and she gains like extra armor. She steals more power on contact, and she does more damage depending on which mode you're in at the time. But her L1, like she can do so much. She can power drain, she can armor break, she can slow the opponent, you can regen 90% of all block damage. 90%. So you're barely taking block damage if you throw on when you have your armor break, or sorry, your armor up rune, which is the armor up symbol, when you throw a special, and that L2 can do serious damage. I mean, if you bank your permanent rune to get armor breaks, and then you like throw some special attacks, and you can throw that L2 with like 2 or 3 armor breaks, it can do serious damage. It can crit for like 60-70k in Alliance War, which is just really, really cool. Now we'll go up to a champ I do not have as a 6-star, and that is why do I filter that one? That is going to be Tigra. Tigra is awesome. She is a very, very good champion, but the thing is, she's just too hard to learn. I wouldn't even say hard. Like, she's just very time-consuming to learn. And in my opinion, the effort required to make her a top 4 mystic is just, I don't want to say not worth it, because I feel like it is worth it if you get to that point. But if you're not to the point where you're not making mistakes, like if you're not a perfect Tigra player, I don't think it's worth it. I think for the average person in the game, they're better off going with anyone else in the top 10, unless you are committed to putting a lot of time into Tigra. And that isn't the way with any of the other champions, even any of them in the honorable mentions. She is the only one that works that way. She's the only one that requires a lot of practice. So Tigra is awesome if you can master her. It's just the effort to get to that point. It's a lot. It's a lot. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I don't want to go offending anyone because, I mean, obviously I like Tigra, but there are people that worship her and think she's like the best Mystic. I mean, you're just wrong. But anyways, let's go on to the other champion, one that people might think is too high on this list, but is a champion I use a ton. And comparing this champion against Tigra, Sorcerer Supreme, Diablo, Magic, Symbiote Supreme, Sigil Witch, Man-Thing, and everyone on the honorable mentions list, this champion is simply better than them. That's it. And this is Morningstar. Morningstar, again, is one of the most slept-on champions in the entire game. She has very, very good damage output if you can build up her souls. Now, mind you, this is a very, very annoying champion to ramp up. If you throw in the synergy, you have to do 3 fights, which is not... I mean, like, you'll get your max damage on your 3rd fight, is what I meant. So it's like 2 L3s, and then end those 2 fights, and you'll be at 4. 1 L3, and then in the 3rd fight, and then you have her max potential after, like, 10 damage sources on the opponent. But, yeah, there's really not much to say. She just does so much. Her L2 deals damage based on how many buffs the opponent has. It does nullify them, but even if it doesn't nullify them, like if you use it against a high Sig Angela with a lot of buffs, it's still going to do that crazy damage and not nullify the buffs, which means that you'll be able to just get to another L2 and then throw that L2. It's awesome. And honestly, I think that's even better than just saying deals damage on nullification. So yeah, her L3 captures souls, and then her L1 deals extra damage based on how many souls you have, the extra passive damage, and yeah, she's just really, really good. Also, her Sig ability allows her to copy any Fury, regeneration, and power gain buffs. But the thing is, it doesn't matter the enemy you're facing. So whether it's an Act 1 fight or it's an Abyss of Legends, you'll get the same amount of regen, rather than just copying the amount of regen the opponent gets, which more often than not is going to be significantly less than the regen you get for yourself, which is really awesome. Also, once you have 4 souls, yes, you have a 50% perfect block chance, and also when you get 5 souls, you have a 20% chance to regen 50% of the damage done to the opponent. So if you throw your L2, you get a big damage on that, or your L1, or maybe just a basic hit. Like, you can regen from 20% to 100 in one combo with good luck. So that's all I really get to talk about. I could talk for days about Morningstar, but she does deserve that number 3 spot. Now we'll go into the number 2 Mystic in the game, which is Clairvoyant. And Clairvoyant does so much. And there's a few champions in the game that have like a wide range of utility, and they do a lot of things, but none of them do everything very well. But Clairvoyant is that champion that does. You can run her with Suicides because going straight into the fight, you start in your bleed curse, and your bleed's gone. No bleed. And then you parry, do light, you purify your poison. You're in your poison curse. So already literally 2 seconds into the fight, your Suicides are gone. They're gone. And you're not taking any damage from that. Now, when you're in your bleed curse, your L2 heals you, and the healing is very significant. It is a lot of healing. When you're in the poison curse, the L2 power drains the opponent and steals power. So it's power steal on the L2, and then if you're in your Incinerate curse, your L2 does extra prowess, like extra damage, extra red numbers, and it's quite good on the damage. Also, any contact you make with the opponent, whether it's them hitting you or you hitting them, nullifies any active buff on them, as long as you have a, what are those charges called? Clairvoyance charges. And then when you throw your L2, you gain charges back. So yeah. Also, there's her L3 hits really, really hard. All clairvoyance charges are removed, each increasing your attack rating during this attack by 744.2. So if you're not nullifying a lot of buffs and you keep those charges, that's like tripling your attack rating. Also, you gain Death Touch, which is really nice if you're about to die and you can get to that L3 before and then save yourself. You can tank an L3 from the opponent and still win the fight. It's that comes from the SIG ability. Yeah, that comes from the SIG ability after throwing your L3. And then there's also the fact that if the defender is immune to either bleed, poison, or incinerate, doesn't even have to be all three, just one of the three, activating that debuff against the opponent by either finishing a medium while in that curse, or charging a heavy attack, doesn't even have to connect, you just have to charge it, gives you a burst of power, which is really nice. And it's a really nice way to just get your power up fast. But she seriously is the jack of all trades, also the master of all trades, which is not the case for all, I think, any other champion. Like, she is just such a wide range. Number one, it's Dr. Doom. No one is surprised by this. He is the number one most common rank 4 6-star. He is amazing prestige. He is an amazing champion, and he is the best Mystic in the game. Like, period. He is the best Mystic. He does so much power drain on the L1, and also on light attacks whenever you have your aura up. There's a synergy that gains you either a Fury buff or a Energize buff. Once you throw that special one, you activate your aura. Oh, that was not supposed to happen. Which is really, really nice as well. And your L2 has really good incinerate damage. You can use your L3 in combination with your L1 to get like back to an L3, and you gain these massive Furies. For example, I'll just show you how big the Fury is. The Fury on the L3 gains, it more than doubles your attack, and it can stack to 2, which means you get plus 11,400 attack on top of the 4467. So that's like 2.5 times as much damage with 2 Furies. And if you just want to throw a massive L2 with incinerates that tick like crazy hard, get 2 Furies, throw that L2, and it does crazy damage. So yeah, that is going to be all for my Mystic Top 10. That was a little bit of a long video. I think I could have gone into a little less detail for a lot of them, but I still think it was good, and I stand by that top 10 list. I went through every other champion. Like, no one else deserves to be on this list, and that's it. Those are the top 10, and those are the honorable mentions. That is going to be all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and check out any of the other classes that I will be posting sometime in the next week if they're not up yet. Then look out for those when they come out. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.